Introducing the Paddy Power World Darts Championships.
Welcome back to Online Darts, everyone. For the World Championships, of course, we've got Big Rig Ben Robb with us. Ben, excited to be heading to Alexandra Palace again?
Yeah, bro. Fourth time. Hopefully, fourth time's a charm.
Look, you've played some really, really good stuff. Look, we've seen it here at Modus, but you've absolutely annihilated the tour back home, playing some super stuff. Is this the best you felt heading to the Palace?
Yeah, I think everything. Travel over here, all the stuff back home that needs to work for me to be here just seems to be so smooth this time around. All the planning, even the financial side of everything coming into this. I feel like everything's been planned for this opportunity, and probably my most consistent year since I've been playing darts, and winning some big tournaments back home against players that are really coming through, and especially pushing off Hopai a lot, who's so much class, and he's here next week I think at Modus.
Yep.
So just to be able to win as consistent as I did was pretty proud of myself.
What did it mean to finish #1 in New Zealand as well?
Yeah. Especially with like Warren Parry still playing and at his high level, it is surreal to be #1. I don't take it lightly. I try and lead by example when I try and fly the flag as proud as I can when I'm over here.
World Series, obviously, I know it didn't go according to plan, but you are arguably the best out of any of the representatives from New Zealand, but just ran into a performance. To play that well on TV must give you confidence as well.
Yeah, I think the last couple of times I played Gil and Price the year before, and I was averaging high 95 pluses. So I know it's in my locker, and the consistency's there, and the stage is where I like to play more energy. So tonight will be good. There's more energy at this Modus tonight. So I just feel better when there's energy in the room, and I just always back myself to take my chances.
World Championship prep from here, still going up to Damon Hetters to prep and get ready?
Yeah, I'm very lucky to have him on my side. World number 10 now I think he is, so it's crazy for me to say that, especially for Damon, proud of him, but cool that he's so willing to just offer his help to me whenever I need it, and I hope I can get him warmed up as much as he can get me prepped for the World, so that's what our plan is for the next week.
You know what's coming next is that question of, are you staying after the World Championships?
Yeah, every year. I'm actually going to Q school. I'm going to Germany this time around. So the whole plan is go through Germany, do Q school, then I have to fly home. Like I back myself. So I've made plans that if I do get my tour card, that the sports visa application back home is a process you need to be back home to apply.
Yep.
So I need to land. As soon as I land, then we do that process. But one thing at a time. I have everything in place. I truly believe that I can play here, and I feel like I can compete here. And it's real exciting. But I'm hoping to be here next year.
Couple of bits off of that. So World Championship.
Yep.
In between Ali Pali and Germany, is it back to Damon, staying in the UK, or going straight to Germany to prep?
No, staying in the UK. Practice with Damo. He's got some other guys living around him now. I think he's moved. Yeah,
Jim Williams is pretty much next door to him and things like that as well.
So I haven't met Jim, but from what I've seen, he's a top bloke. So as much practice as I can get. Hopai is going to be around too, so we'll just bash each other up as much as we can, and then hopefully I don't even have to worry about Q school and do well at the World Champs, because I really believe that my A game can run with anybody at their A game, so I'm excited.
Interesting one that you've picked Germany.
Yep.
Is that for a specific reason? Look, I think everyone looks at it from the international point and go, right, which one am I going to go to? We've seen some of the American guys go to Germany, some go to the UK. Was that a thought process that you really had to look at?
Yeah, to be fair, Milton Keynes was the easier option. It required less travel. It was more familiar, and all that. And the idea of going to Germany was a bit daunting. But I talked to Damo, the people around me, and they would just go to Germany, go to Europe. It's not an English-speaking country first, so maybe I'll get more into my own zone rather than being more social in the back scene of the games.
Yeah.
So to be more locked into my own game and maybe being under the radar a little bit more. At Milton Keynes, I had a target. It felt like it. But yeah, you never know. There's a lot of big European players, and even looking at WDF, I'd say only one of them is a Brit, so it's going to be stacked over there. I didn't go there as an easier option. I went there as more of a preparation option for myself.
I remember speaking with you on one of the radio stations back home about this time last year, and you were like, I want to go over, but the stars aren't aligned yet. Now, I know you're a massive family man looking at you on social media. This is a big decision that you've made, and if all goes well and you get your card, what's then the process for Ben Robb? Do you come over here and base for months at a time, or will your family come over like Damon's has? What's then the process if you get your card?
Yeah, so we've already thought that through to get my card, move back to the UK, preferably somewhere around Damo, if not with Damo, or somewhere around that area, so someone I can move around with.
Yeah.
And then I'll have to have a number. We haven't really figured out a number, like prize winning wise, to justify moving the family over.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because obviously everything I make is about just creating a golden nugget, so when I'm finished with it, we can go and start the lives that we wanted to, really.
Yeah, 100%.
So, it's more of a process of just getting as much money as I can and reevaluating at a certain number. Do we want to hold on to that, or are we going to reinvest and move the family over? It's going to be difficult, mate, my family and my kids and my life, so it's going to be tough, but even if I think about it now, it makes me almost not want to play.
I get that, and look, we've seen many from Australia try, and I know that Gigi massively struggled with it, but having Damon here, that's someone that's done it and uprooted himself here, is that a confidence thing and a comfort thing that you can speak to him and bounce things off of him because he's already done that?
Yeah, and having Megan there too for my wife's sake, so she can talk to Megan and she'll make her understand that we're so serious about it and we're locked in on the job. So there's lots of things about being around Damon and Megs. And just feeling like I have family, like we're close mates, but we're in Māori culture, his family is real close to my family. So at some point, our families are going to cross. I think we looked at it, and he might even be my uncle, but I don't really want to tell him that because he won't let me down on that one.
One thing, are you used to the English weather, because it's nowhere near like it is back home?
Yeah, that's the hard part to adjust to, man. I left 25 degrees and now it's like -1 windburn going on. But I mean, just the prospect of what this game can give you these days is too alluring for me to pass it up. I feel like I can do it.
It's interesting what you said there, because I remember that listening to Corey back in the day when he first jumped, obviously a young Simon Whitlock, Damon, it was like going into the unknown. But the way darts has evolved, is it too big now, too big an egg to ignore?
Yeah, that's the thing, and the egg is on this side of the world, and I think the best thing with the World Series is, even though I don't have a tour card or I don't have that consistent play that England or Europe has, I have a lot of stage time, whereas a lot of these guys, when I look at the paper, like, they don't get as much stage time as I've got, like World Cups, World Series, World Championships. Like, I'm playing Richard Veenstra, who I've known for ages, and this is his Ali Pali debut, and yet this is my 4th appearance. So even though it's quite daunting, it's kind of like, I feel like I've done my apprenticeship as such. Like, I feel like I've done a lot of the hard yards, a lot of small time tournaments, big tournaments, and I feel like it's just all come together where I feel complete and ready to have a crack.
If all goes well when you get that card, is it going to be the Damon type approach where, I want to call it a smash and grab, where 10 years, do what you've got to do, go home? Is that the ultimate goal to do it? Like, around that, I'm saying 10 years as a ballpark number, I've just pulled that from the sky, but is that the kind of game plan? Yeah,
definitely, especially mum and dad getting on. But like you said, I could be doing really, really well in, say, 4 years, and then we could sit down as a family and decide what we want to do moving forward. But yeah, the idea would be that come in and you never know how this game is growing, how it's going to be in 10 years. It could be a worldwide game that could be played all over the world because all the best players are coming not just from England anymore, but all over the place. So, yeah, as long as there's opportunity, I'll play, and yeah, we'll just see what happens after I get that.
Going back to Ali Pali, will the family be up at silly o'clock home watching you?
Yeah, and the kids, they're excited. They're getting a bit older now where they kind of realise what's going on and they go back to school and telling their friends. So, yeah, this time around it's my first game, Veenstra. It's a good time back home. It's in the morning. It's not like a late night one. It's a breakfast kind of show for everybody back home. So I feel like there'll be a few watching. Well,
you beat me to it there, obviously, touching on your kids. Do they understand now what Dad's doing on that stage?
Yeah, especially my oldest boy now. He's 7 now. So, and then now his teacher's asking him like, oh, where's your dad? Has he played darts? And he goes
on that big stage.
And then every day there's a mufti day. The first thing he wears is his dart shirt. He's proud as of his dart shirt. So, yeah, he's always, if he's doing something like anything cool, he's like, I want to put my dart shirt on because he's got all my shirts in small sizes. So that's pretty cool. And it's like, yeah, you see the sparkle in his eye, and that just gives you a bit more drive.
Darts back home. Where is it? Because obviously we see you guys like competing on the tour and whatever, but I want to class the Oceanic region as one, Australia and New Zealand. Is it ready to take the next step and produce maybe a bigger tour and your own events, or even somehow, logistically, if it could work, the PDC to go even bigger down there? Is it ready?
Yeah, I think it needs to be. I think we need to join our tours together, to be fair. When me, Damo and Hopai, we did the Australian tour, which was open to all Oceanic side. Yeah. But now they've everyone's gone back to Australia being Australia, New Zealand being New Zealand. I can't compete in theirs, they can't compete in ours.
Is that disappointing?
Just very disappointing. I felt like, if you ask any player back home, I felt like we had built momentum. When we had the tour, the top 16 was over 90 average. Which was crazy. Damo was leading with like a 96 overall. Yeah. I was sitting at 93. Hopai was beasting, and we had James Bailey, Gigi. We had everybody just going at each other, and yeah, I felt like we went a backward step, going back into our own groups. But that's all I can really speak for was New Zealand. And even just over there, we've got like our top 8. I think is legit. Just need more opportunities for the 5 to 12, just because you say the top 4 in our country is so strong that typically they win. So and then I got my opportunity, and I was I was 5th, 6th, and because we had when World Series came to New Zealand, it was 8 professionals versus 8 locals. And the PDC brought more professionals. As we're getting more and more professionals, say Gigi, Damon, Simon, they're coming onto our side. So now we've only getting maybe 3, 4 Kiwis, whereas I got in because we had 7. So certain things like that would help grow the game in small areas. But there's a lot of drive and there's a lot of money being thrown in the game in New Zealand. So, and then you see with the WDF, Johnny Tata having a great run this year, make it to the quarters. Nicole Reno's she's a great talent. Wendy Harper holding the women's flag for New Zealand for a while. We've just got so many good names and good players. It's just need more opportunity.
What brought that decision on then to separate again? Do you know? Was it internal stuff? Because it seems it just seems like a massive negative.
Massive. That was my first thing too. I had about 10 Kiwis back home that were keen to do the Australian tour. It was just called the DPA tour.
Yeah, so it was.
Yeah, and it was just such a good tournament. It was all iPads, Dart Connect, just like the PDC, first to 6 straight knockouts. And for whatever reason, I was told that the PDC wanted Australian representation in Australian tournaments, so they wanted to separate us. So New Zealand would be represented by New Zealand and Australia would be represented by Australia. Disappointing. We felt like we were coming through and we were going to come through and kind of take a few spots. But that was the drive. It was such a good, and it was a lot of effort from our end.
Yeah.
We're 4 hours just to get to the main airport of Australia, and we were willing to do it. But yeah, hopefully they change it and go back, or they unite and have a partial shared tournament.
I'm sure it can be done, because look, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but the CDC tour is obviously North America, and the Americans and the Canadians all play on one tour. Yes, there's internal rankings.
They have their separate ones, yeah.
But they still play together. So
yeah.
I'm sure it can be done.
It can, yeah. I think it can be done. I just don't know the powers that be will let it happen. But you can say that our best performances were when we were doing that. And then me and Hobart come back from doing that tournament and we probably lifted the game back home to where it's at. Because now if you're not as dedicated as me and that guy, then you're just not going to do as well. You might win 1 or 2 tournaments, but the consistency speaks for itself. Me and Hobart probably won 90-95% of the tournaments back home. Just down to our dedication and our sacrifice of the game. So,
Ben, it's an absolute pleasure picking your brain, mate, ahead of Alexandra Palace, and wish you all the very best.
Cheers, brother. Hope I do well.
Introducing the Paddy Power World Darts Championships.